Hi, I'm Loretta. Welcome to Chair Yoga. Let's get started with our breath. Let's take a few deep breaths in and let's look at just looking at how our breath feels to us. And what I mean by that is each time you take a breath, notice how deeply you inhale and if you exhale it all out. And then the next breath, take it and try to inhale just a smidge deeper and exhale just a smidge more until you breathe in and you feel your whole being involved in your breath. So let's start with that. Deep breath in and out. Another breath in and out. You should begin to feel your body getting involved in this breath. Two more really strong deep breaths. After we take this one in, let's exhale to the sound of Om. And let's begin with our arms. Today, I'd like us to say out and in and up, together and down. Out and in and up, together and down. Let's take a few of these. Up, together and down. A couple more. One more, last one. Up, together, and down. And now let's take and push our hands up and out, up all the way and out. Keep our breath going with it. Let's do one more. So let's take our shoulders and let's rotate them. Oh, this feels good. Bring them up, bring them back and around by your ears. A couple more. And let's stop and go the opposite direction. One more. And let's take our shoulders up and down, up and down. You can squish your head at the same time, bringing your neck in like a turtle. Two more. And now front and back, to the front and to the back, to the front, to the back. Two more. Felt good. Okay, let's do a thread the needle and really work our, we'll finish working out our shoulders with this move. So take your right hand, place it on your knee. Take your left hand, bring it up, bring it all the way through, keeping this arm extended, dropping your ear down to your knee. Take your front arm, move it back to the back and snake it up your body and bring it straight out. And take 3 breaths right here. One more breath. Take your hand, move it back to the back, to the front. Bring your arm you're working up and bring it back down to form the arch for the other side. up with your arm, bring it back down and through, dropping your shoulder in your ear, taking your hand, bringing it back, snaking it up your body and putting it straight out. Now feel yourself totally relaxing on your right shoulder, your right arm, and totally reaching with your left. It's a move that your body can support, both sides doing opposite things. Bring it back, bring it in, and bring it up. And come on back down. And let's begin with our waist. Back and forth, around and around, circular motions. And let's take our twist on our very next. Take your left hand, put it on your right knee, hand in the back. Now, I've given you lots of choices about how you can place your hand. Pick one that you like and stick to it for at least a couple of sessions anyway. My favorite's under my rear, so I'm going to go ahead and put it there. I'm going to keep my eyes looking at a focal point. The drushki is what it's called, but that is a focal point. And we're going to take a deep breath and start our twists. Think good thoughts. Keeping your eyes looking ahead. One more deep breath in. Get that really nice twist and come on back. Other side. Prepare yourself, sit up straight. Deep breath in. Eyes focused. One more deep breath twist. And come on back to the center. That felt good. Now just kind of shift your legs back and forth with your sit bones just to kind of wake them up. And let's take our arms and bring them out. Taking them down, dropping one and raising the other. Let's take a few of this motion. And bring it up. And bring it up. Next time that the right arm comes up, go ahead and bring it over. Go ahead and bring it over. Sitting up straight, your heart is open, your chest is open, you're looking under your armpit, you're noticing that really, really sturdy, straight line of energy that's shooting up from your hand to your feet. And then you bend and hold that line of energy. And breathe. One more breath. And come on back up. And do the same with the other arm. Remember to get yourself in position before you take the move. So make sure your feet are squared, your hips are squared, your body's straight. You feel the line of energy. Your arm is next to your ear. Take a deep breath in and bend. One more deep breath. And go ahead and come on back to the front. And let's go ahead with our cat-cows. And so we'll begin let's begin in the cow, where we bring our chest forward, our head is up. We're using our spine to articulate this now. The cat, the cow, the cat. Really, really expansion. And come on back in. It's the expansion part and the releasing taking place in your spinal column more than any other place. It's a rib and spine motion. One more of each, one more of the cow, and this is the last cat. And come on back to center. And from that point, let's take our joint openers, and we're going to come up and out and up and down, up and out and up and down. Remember, any energy you have, it's sacred too. You have a sacred body, your energy is sacred too. Don't know if that makes any difference, but remember who you are. And then let it swing and come on back and let your energy come into a Tadasana. Become the mountain pose. Stable, sturdy, foundational, and full of its own energy. And let it go. Now let's take and do our tricep stretch by bringing our hands over our head and putting our ears next to our arms, our upper arms. And take those lowers, grab your elbows on both sides, and sit up really straight. And really stretch yourself out from your waist all the way up. And take some deep breaths. One more really good deep breath. And let it go. And then bring your arms and let's bring them to the back of our neck. Interlace your fingers, bring them to the back of your neck, elbows out. And let's take a few, like this, to the side. Let's bend over to the center and to the other side. They're not forward folds because they're more like a sit-up, but they're not really. But let's just do a few to wake up our waists there and our tummies to the center and to the side. To the side, to the center, and to the other side. Let's do one more all the way through to the side, to the center, and to the other side. Now, leaving our hands right where they are, let's take a crunch to the side and do a few crunches here, side to side, and wake up that side panel there between your waist and your armpit. This wakes that up really well. One more deep breath, and you can let that go. And now let's check how our neck feels. Let's try our infinity circle, the first gauge where we're at. And that's a figure 8 on its side. Draw it with your nose. And then stop. Take a few no's. And stop. Try the yeses. And stop. How does your neck feel? Does it need more work right now? Mine feels pretty good. Try a couple more infinity circles. If you're having trouble with your neck, we're going to work some more on it at the end. So let's move along and come on down. And let's take our leg and bring it up over our knee. Sit on the edge of your chair. Take a deep breath in, sit up straight. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to fold over our knees. So deep breath in, and hinging at the hips, come on down as far as you can over your knee or over your calf. Take some deep breaths, and it won't matter if you're up here or you're all the way down here or wherever you end up in between. It's what's right for your body. So go ahead and feel the opening of those lower back muscles and all the way up through the side panels in the back when you do this, plus your glutes, plus your thighs. So this gives us a lot of leverage. So deep breath in. And drop your arms if you want. And then come on back up. And let's do the other side. Leg over knee. Make sure you're on the edge of your chair, sitting up straight. Take a deep breath in and hinge at the hips. You may find one side is a lot better than the other in terms of going down. I sure do. I think that's pretty normal. Take a deep breath in and see if you want to go a little bit further by dropping your arms. Keep breathing. And then come on back up. And you can put your leg down. And let's open our hips, taking our hand. This time, we'll take our one hand on knee, one hand on foot. Open up, bringing it across. Now we're going to take our heels, because that's the primary drawing tool here, and we're going to draw circles. And feel how your hip responds to that. Feel how that just opens it wide up. Now go opposite direction on your circles. Let's make sure this hip gets really wide. Come on back to the center and make a sleeve for your leg. Hold it under. Put your foot straight out. And let's point and flex. Point and flex. 2 more. Last one. Now take and circle your ankle. Sitting up straight. Go in the opposite direction. And then gently let your leg go, hanging onto it, and bring it to the floor. Let's take your other leg and do the same thing. First, we're going to open it up, bring it to the side and to the front. And then we're going to use our heel as the drawing tool, and we're going to draw circles. And this just gives your hip an opportunity to be in different positions and feel itself opening up during different ways of manipulating your body. So, okay, leg out, hands under, point and flex, point and flex. Take a couple more of these. One more, last one. All right, go in a circle. Turn around and go the opposite direction. All right, now let it hang and bring it down. Now take your feet just for the heck of it and just scrape them on the bottom of the floor. Just scrape the bottom of your feet. And let's just wake up those toes, wake up those arches, wake up every part of your foot. And put it hips width apart. Spread your toes as wide as you can spread them. And just relax your feet and your legs for now. Relax your feet in this position and notice how comfortable they feel. And while we're at it, well, here's what we'll do while we're at it. Bring our feet together and let's take our knees and let's push them apart. Let's make sure those hips are feeling comfortable in their movement. Some people can't raise their foot up above their knee. And this kind of position here will help you open those hips in a way that helps as well. So, and one more, and come on back to the center. Okay. What I'm really thinking about now is taking our goddess squat, because I know how much you love it, and I do too. And I do notice the difference in my legs from these, so. Take your heels, point them in. Your toes are pointed out. Your legs are kind of close to the chair. Your heels are about where the chair legs are. Take your hands and smooth out your thighs, pushing them just a little bit further apart. Sit up straight. Have your torso right over your hips, and your head over your torso, so that you're in a straight, really good postured position. And raise your hands, move them back as far as you can so that your shoulder blades are trying to touch, and breathe. And keep those legs apart. Take a few really good breaths here. This is a position you're not going to find yourself in a lot unless we deliberately do it, but it's very, very, very helpful. 2 more breaths. Last one. You can bring your hands down and your legs. What I'd like you to do is keep your legs out and point your toes. Just straight forward. You can bring them in a little bit, but the reason I want us to do this is because I want us to assume that goddess position again, but without the goddess feet. We're going to bring our hands up. We've got that stretch in our legs, but our feet are forward. So bring your arms up. And what I'd like us to do is to take a little bit of breath. Take 5, ha, 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 ha. 2 more, ha, ha. Oh, 1 more, ha. And bring it down. Anytime we can involve the breath, it's a very, 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 very good thing to add. So let's take 1 more deep breath here. And let it all out. And let's take a forward fold, but we're going to do it by tucking our chin and going down 1 vertebrae of our spine at a time. So we'll begin by tucking our chin, taking it and slowly edging ourselves down 1 vertebrae at a time. I'd like it spread here. Come down to your knees, then you can drop your hands, bring them down to your feet, if you can, and then you can bring them to the floor, if that works for you. Either way you look at it, see if you can't use your elbows to push your legs out a little bit further to improve the stretch in your glutes and your inner thighs. And then take your chin and tuck it and really, really feel that energy ball that's you connecting to the earth through your crown chakra. There's a light in us, and it seeks light in everything. One more deep breath. You can bring your hands back to your feet. Take your arms and bring them straight out, and then bring yourself back up. 1 vertebrae at a time, bringing your head up, and your chin is the very last thing to come up. And go ahead and drop your arms. Today, I'm going to keep we're going to keep on the chair for most of our practice today. And there'll be one thing don't worry, there'll be one thing for us standing up. But let's begin by taking let's come to the side of our chair, and we're going to take a lunge, and we're going to take, it's a runner's lunge, and then we'll come up into the, let's take our foot, and we're going to face in the direction that's forward if we're sitting on the side of our chair. Our toe is stretched back as far as it can be. Our other leg is bent. We can see over our 2 top toes, and then we lunge forward. The chair is supporting us, but our feet are pushing us and pulling us. Our arms are pulling, our foot is pushing, and then we take the high crescent lunge that brings us back. And we look up, and we have wide openness here. We're still stretching that back leg, and now we're including our heart. And come on back down, and come on to the other side, and let's do the other side. Okay, we're going to stretch that foot out all the way with our toe. We're going to point to the forward. Our knee is basically over our ankle. We can see our two toes next to the big toe. As straight as we can keep this leg. It's a little bit difficult. And then we lunge. And we reach. And we try to hold on to. Does the sacred body hold on and reach? You bet. And then we have the high crescent lunge. Come on back up with your total breath. Open your heart, look up to the sky, and feel the excitement in the air. And come on back down and turn to the front. Now what I'd like us to do next is the Warrior Two sequence on the chair. So we're facing forward. One leg goes out. The other comes back down at a 90-degree angle. You're still on the edge of the chair. Try to line your heels up if you can. Make sure your body is over. Okay. We're facing forward. And then you raise your arms and look towards the bent leg. And you breathe. And make sure you have your feet right before you add the arms. Take a few deep breaths here. Remember, this is the warrior position. You're pushing with the back. You're lining up your shot if you're an archer. And then you hear, oh, wait. And so you take a reverse warrior, bringing your one arm up. The other goes down to the leg that's extended. Looking under your armpit, deep breaths. 2 more really deep breaths. Try to make sure this leg is extended over your toes and not falling in. And then come on back down and let's take our right angle from here. So come on down, put your forearm on your knee that's bent. Raise your other arm straight up as close as you can to your body and look up at it. Take a few deep breaths here. And come on back down. And let's go to the other side. So just kind of stay where you are on your chair. You're still on the edge. Just turn your other leg to the other direction. The foot comes flat, 90-degree angle. Leg is stretched nice and straight. Heels are lined up. Body straight over, your torso is straight over your hips. And then you can add your arms. And if that all works good for you, add your head. And breathe. One more really deep breath here. All right, now come on back up for your reverse warrior. Bringing your arm up and over, dropping your right arm down to your right leg. Go ahead and look under your arm. Reverse warrior. One more really deep breath here. And go ahead and drop into your right angle. Dropping your forearm to your knee, hand out, bringing your arm straight up and looking up at it. Now, if you have trouble with your neck, don't look up at your hand. Go ahead and look down. It doesn't add that much. And if your neck is suspect, don't do this, please. Otherwise, you can just look down. And come on back down. And come on back to the center. Right. And I would like us to stand up for just a minute. Like, I understand that sometimes people have problems standing up and that the chair yoga is a lot about using the chair. But the one thing I really want us to know is that the more we practice things, the stronger we become. So let's just take a couple of downward facing dogs and see where it leads us. So come on, hands outstretched, thumbs too, bringing them down on your chair, keeping them apart just about as wide as you can on your chair. If you have a narrow chair, If you have a wider chair, what you want to do is you want to give your shoulders and your body room to come down over. So then step back, keeping your feet flat on the ground. Go back as far as you can to maintain that flatness. Bring your head to your shoulders. Put your ears in between them. Drop your shoulders. Raise your rear end and straighten your legs. And breathe. Your feet are hips width apart. You're flat-footed. You can look down and straight ahead, keeping your ears there in between your arms. Breathing into your belly and out through your belly. 2 more deep breaths here. Last one. And come on up and let's take a plank. Some people aren't going to be able to do this. If you can't, stay standing in your downward facing dog and take a few more breaths. If you can come up on the back toes, bring yourself forward, align your body and look forward and let your hands and let your front body take the weight of the rest of you. And breathe 3 times. And then if you can, come on back up, keeping your body straight, and take another downward facing dog. Ears between your arms, drop your shoulders, lift your rear end, and straighten your legs. And breathe. And come on back up just a little to kind of put you in neutral. Take your legs and spread them apart. Go ahead and spread them as wide as you can, comfortably. And then let's take the wide-legged downward facing dog. So take your ears in between your shoulders again. Drop the shoulders, lengthen your arms, raise your rear end, and straighten your legs. And breathe. And now this is the part I know is hard for some people, but if you can keep practicing this will make a difference. Drop your hands, walk yourself back, make your knees loose. Don't tighten them and don't lock them out. Walk your arms as far as you can, then walk them forward again. And walk them back again. I'm trying to help you learn that you can use your own body to move yourself if you're in a predicament. You've got the strength, you're building it. Okay, now come, take your hands, move them to the front, double fists, and raise your arm up and bring it down. Do it with control. One more on this side, and then bring it down. Now you can take your hands and walk them to your feet. Now, if you can't do this, what I want you to do is I want you to stand up, using your back to bring you up. If you can't do that, take your hands and walk them forward again. No harm, no foul. It's just some bodies can do these things and some can't. Bring your hands to the chair and bring your feet and toes together. And walk yourself back up. And now, because we had a little bit of time today, because I'm not talking a lot, what I'd like us to try is I'd like us to sit, oh, I'm sorry, don't sit down. I'd like us to take the chair position, the awkward pose. And so you'll be facing forward. I'm going to sit on the side so you can see it. Okay, bring your knees completely together and your feet as well. This is the position to begin this from because you don't want your knees to splay out. Stand up straight and then bend your knees like you're picking something up off the floor. Bend them all the way down as far as you can and then lift your hands to your thighs. Lift your hands to your waist. Bring your top of your body straight as you can, keeping your legs bent. Bring your arms into the equation and breathe. This is the awkward pose or the chair position. On your next breath, come on up and take a slight back bend and come on back down. And now it's time for us to come back to our chair. Work with our hands just a little. Time for our Savasana to start in just a minute. So let's begin with our hands. Let's make sure they come out and around. I'm not bringing them up this time. I'm just circling them from the lotus position, connecting my two little fingers and bringing them out, rolling them around, rolling my wrists. And after the very next one, we're going to go in the opposite direction. Taking our wrists and getting some movement. One more, and then let them go. Just kind of shake them loose. Shake your whole body and tell me how you feel. How do you feel? Shake yourself a little more. Okay, and then bring yourself back and bring yourself right present. And let's begin to take ourselves into our Savasana, or the meditative pose. And what I'd like to say is, you know how to do this, so I'm not going to talk a lot, but I want to remind you that you need to bring your breath and your heart and your head and your being, who you are, together. And focus on your core. And remember, you're a sacred being on this planet who has something to do. And you have to have a body to do it. So let's keep our bodies really happy and integrated and healthy. And so we'll start with the deep breath in and then take a few deep breaths. You'll know when you can let it go, and then just breathe like yourself and be quiet and shut your eyes and integrate. I'll let you know when it's time to come back. Thank you. And slowly start breathing a little deeper. And bringing yourself right back up here in front of you. Up here to the front of you. Conscious and aware. And let's stretch a little. Oh, make sure our bodies feel good. Oh. And then, because we're almost out of time, let's take 2 breaths in. And on the second breath, as we exhale, let's chant the sound of Om. Hands together, prayer position. Let's thank our one true teacher inside of each of us that allows us to learn the lessons we need to in life. I wish you the excitement and the joy and the hope that I feel today, and hope that you can spread that to others. Thank you for coming. Namaste.